because he kicked off his "Thank you, America. Thank you for going to the polls.
Right.
Thank you for believing in me." So we actually got to follow him yesterday. And right before he went out on stage, before he made that announcement about General Mattis, he talked to me on camera. So this was our interview.
Awesome.
I feel great. I'm very happy. The country is going to be, it's all about making America great again. That was the theme. We had a big day yesterday, as you know, with what we did with Carrier. 1,100 jobs, 1,100 jobs are going to now stay in this country instead of moving to Mexico after they already made a decision. So we're very happy.
What was your response to President Obama and his staff saying, yeah, that was great, but we've done better?
Well, look, that's what they'll say. You have to, it's politics, it's okay. He's been very gracious, he's been very nice. We've had a couple of great calls and meetings, and I very much respect his attitude. He's been very, very nice.
Mitt Romney, if you do pick him, what can you say to the American public?
Well, he's been very gracious. And don't forget, I hit Mitt pretty hard also, before the fact. And so I understand how it all works. But he's been very, very nice. We had dinner the other night. It was great. There was actually a good chemistry. It was a really good chemistry with him and also with President Obama. There was an amazing, we were supposed to sit down for 10 minutes. And we ended up sitting down for about an hour and a half, keeping everybody waiting. Mm-hmm. But we had a great talk. And so I don't know, but we'll see what happens. We're going to pick our Secretary of State. We have some other announcements coming up literally very soon. And people are loving our choices so far. We're going to have an amazing cabinet.
No more announcements this week, you've said. What about next week? When can we
they'll start next week, big league. We already have some that we have, but they'll be starting next week, big league. We have some tremendous people that are coming on. We're getting credit for having one of the great cabinets ever picked. These are people of great distinction, great success, which is what you need. You're negotiating with people. You can't have people that didn't know how to get there. Mm-hmm. And we have tremendous people joining the cabinet and beyond the cabinet. So you'll be seeing almost all of them next week.
The Thank You America tour. Why is that important to you?
Well, we're in Ohio, and it's Thank You Ohio, and it's Thank You Iowa, thank you North Carolina, thank you Pennsylvania, Florida. We have quite a few. Wisconsin has been so great. Michigan has been so great. We won states, Ainsley, that nobody's won for 38 years, and in a couple of cases more than that in terms of the Republicans. And as you know, they talked about the Great Blue Wall in the Rust Belt, right? Well, the Great Blue Wall was really busted up pretty badly. And so we're doing a thank you run just to thank some of the states that we weren't supposed to win, and we won really in landslides in some cases. Florida was fantastic. You remember we were supposed to lose Florida, and they said, we have breaking news. Donald Trump wins Florida. Trump wins North Carolina. We won Pennsylvania. Ohio. So tonight we're in Ohio, and we have a wonderful group of people that have been just supporters from the beginning. And we won Ohio by almost 10 points, which is unheard of. Mm-hmm. It's unheard of for a Republican to win by 10 points. And we won Iowa by more than 10 points. And so, we've just had some great victories. So I said, we should go back and just say a quick thank you. Mm-hmm. And that's what we're doing.
Mm-hmm. Day one, what are you going to do? The wall, Obamacare repeal?
We could do the wall. We're going to do some repealing. We're going to do some executive orders that we think are inappropriate. We're going to be working. We're going to be working very hard. And I really got a kick. I didn't think of it, but saving Carrier and all those jobs before he became president makes me, I guess, maybe even a little bit more happy. But if you would have seen the people of Indiana today, 1,100 people are going to have a great Christmas, that I can tell you.
That's interesting. Great interview. It's interesting because one of the big lines that he had during his speech there in Cincinnati was about, that big, he was talking about election night and the big blue wall and how he shattered it. But he actually used the line with you first. So I wonder if that kind of reminded him later.
Maybe so.
Maybe I'll do that.
Indeed. Maybe and you said, we commented, his answer, you tried to, see what he would say about President Obama. You pushed that, and Mitt Romney, but very presidential in his answers, played it straight. And I think, not surprising people, but this is what he said he would do, and it's exactly what he's doing.
Mm-hmm. It's been quite a ride for all of us as a country to watch this election unfold over the, 18 months, 17 months when he was running, and to watch him become more and more presidential. And some of those responses, they were very nice.
He said, we're going to build a wall, maybe some repealing. Right. Who knows?
Well, and then he fell on the sword with Mitt Romney. He was saying, I said some bad things about him, too.
I hit him hard. So stay tuned for that. Maybe next week we'll know.
Nice job.
Maybe, and then he said, did you hear in the interview? He said, I've got some big announcements next week, some big league announcements next week. And then he went on stage right after that interview with me and he said, don't tell anyone this, but General Mattis is going to be Secretary of Defense.
Could have had it right there.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're glad you traveled out there.
Thank you.
Excellent
It was worth
interview.
it. It was fun.
All right, coming up on this Friday, President-elect Donald Trump heads to Indiana yesterday to celebrate the 1,100 jobs he saved at Carrier. But the White House has nothing nice to say about that. Ed Henry reporting from D.C. on that next.
That's right. And right now, Rick Reichmuth is hundreds of feet above the
Look at
ground,
that.
getting ready to go over the side of a building. Rick, why are you doing that?
Great question. It's been 7 years now, and I ask myself that every time. Here's the deal. I'm going to start off with the good part. Take a look at how beautiful the sunrise is here. That is the nice thing when you're up on 22 stories. The bad part is, instead of taking the elevator, we're going down this way. I'm doing this coming up this morning. You don't want to miss it. We'll see how this one plays out this year. Guys, more Fox and Friends coming up in just a minute.
Yesterday, Jill Stein officially requested a hand recount of 4.8 million ballots in Michigan. But Donald Trump says he's going to fight it by shouting out other numbers while they're trying to count.
70, 19. Start back at 1.
That works, actually. Always does.
Really? Let's try.
No.
While I'm reading this, you just bark things out.
I will. Okay. Steve.
All right. More than 1,000 Carrier workers celebrating yesterday with President-elect Donald Trump and Vice President-elect Mike Pence, overjoyed that they can continue providing for their families straight ahead.
So what does the White House have to say about keeping all of those jobs here in America?
Chief
It's
National
not enough, they say.
Oh, sorry about that. Chief National Correspondent Ed Henry, live in D.C. with the latest. Good morning, Ed.
Good morning, guys. It's interesting. Not a bad day's work for the president-elect to save those jobs. And he even did an interview, not just with Ainsley, but then he did one with the New York Times where he said, look, corporate America has to get the message that we have to take care of our workers as well. That sounds like the kind of rhetoric we heard from Hillary Clinton, Bernie Sanders. The White House should say this is great, right? Nope. They say it's not good enough. Watch.
We will have two simple rules when it comes to this massive rebuilding effort. Buy American and hire American. On trade, the history of nations teaches us that the strength of a country and its trade and manufacturing sector is vital to both its economic prosperity and national security.
The president-elect has indicated that he deserves credit for that announcement, and I guess what I would observe is that if he is successful in doing that 804 more times, then he will meet the record of manufacturing jobs that were created in the United States while President Obama was in office.
So they're talking about, okay, this is what President Obama did over 8 years and trying to compare it to what Donald Trump has done before he's even taken office. Kind of interesting, guys.
All right, Ed, thank you very much. Also, during Barack Obama's 8 years, Carrier left the United States.
Right, right. And he brought
Just
it back
saying.
before
Details,
he's even in
Steve,
office.
details.
Sounds like sour grapes.
Well, he delivered a beautiful Christmas to 1,000 families.
Sure did.
No kidding.
Yeah.
These are human beings.
All right.
All right.
23 minutes before the top of the hour.
Heather has some headlines for
I
us. Good
certainly
morning.
do. Pete and everyone, we've talked so much about the VA and our veterans health care and this one facility in Wisconsin that is under fire once again. Another horrific report of mistreatment by the VA at this Wisconsin facility that's been dubbed Candyland for overprescribing pain pills to vets. Nearly 600 patients at the facility in Tomah, Wisconsin, may have been infected with diseases such as hepatitis and HIV. The facility says a dentist was using his own equipment, then cleaning it and reusing it, and that's a violation of the VA's regulations. We're told that dentist has now been removed from patient care, but has not been fired. All 592 vets that he has treated are now being contacted. Brand new evidence is emerging in the San Bernardino terror attack 1 year after that happened. Investigators now say that the terrorists may have been driven to kill by a Christmas party. There was a brand new email exchange between the husband and wife killers, revealing a shocking new clue. Tashfeen Malik tells her husband, Saeed Farouk, that she was outraged that he attended a holiday party at the Inland Regional Center. Well, that was the same party that he excused himself from, only to come back later and kill 14 people along with his wife. Princeton students, Pete, listen up. This is your school here. Refusing to cave to a PC education. They are in an uproar over a proposal requiring freshmen to take a class on social inequality. The campus newspaper editor says, stating in part, quote, the task force has mistaken a liberal arts education with a politically liberal education. And those are your headlines. Way to go, Princeton.
Good stuff. And the Daily Princetonian is not a conservative publication.
Right,
so for
right.
them to say it, it shows you how far it's going.
It's a good step.
Wow.
There we go. We'll take it. Well done, Princeton.
Meanwhile, who needs a chimney when you can just go down the side of a really tall building?
I can't believe he's doing this. Rick Ragmuth is joining us live at the top of the landmark building in Stamford, Connecticut, where he is testing the ropes for Santa. Now, Rick, did you tell your mom not to watch this morning?
You know what? I didn't tell my mom this was happening this year. I've learned. She gets so nervous leading up to it that I thought, I'm not even going to let her know because she'll worry about it.
Smart.
But once I'm done, then I'll let her know. I'm sure her friends will tell her.
This morning, how are the ropes? Are they
Are you
really tight?
And are you certifiable, Rick? I mean,
So look at all of this right here. So we've got all these safety guys here setting this up. It basically, and they're asking each other questions and looking a little bit confused, which doesn't make me feel very good. But I want to just ask really quick. So this is Michael right up here. He's been doing this for years with us, and I just want to say you sit up here for 4 hours while this is getting going. But if you look what you're sitting on right here, are you at all bothered that you are sitting right on this sledge, Michael?
Whoa!
Yeah.
Wow.
You love it.
Yep.
Okay, well that makes one of
Rick,
us
yeah, he
because
loves it. I don't think you
every
do.
time I even get here. I could not even do this. I mean, you're all wired up, but you don't even have an idea that behind you is like a 350-foot drop.
Well, I know, but I'm not worried.
But you're not worried. All right, the trust that I have goes in this guy right here, and you got a big smile on his face. I think he's thinking you fool, you're about to go over this.
Right, Rick?
And that's what's happening,
So,
guys.
Rick, the reason you are testing out the ropes for Santa is because Christmas season officially starts here in Stamford, Connecticut on Sunday, because Santa will be right where you are, right?
Yeah, exactly. The Stamford, Connecticut launches their Christmas season with a big event. Santa rappels down the building, and then they light the Christmas tree. It's always joined by Brian Cashman, the GM of the Yankees, who is here with me this morning, and he's going to be going down this wall, and we're going to kind of figure out why the Yankees are not the first team in New York any longer. We'll ask him. Guys,
have fun with that question.
Yeah, no kidding. Finally, you've got some good weather, though. I think it was last year. It was raining out there when you were doing it, and windy, too.
Yeah, beautiful day.
Yeah, it is not. I mean, it's not great, but it's not bad.
Well,
It could be worse.
That makes me nervous just looking at the camera, looking over the ledge. So be careful. That first step's got to be really tough.
And we're going to see Rick go over the side at the conclusion of today's program.
Build the suspense.
All right, he'll be on the ropes, as he has been many, many times. Meanwhile, remember the Air Force vet who called out the protesters crying over the election results.
Quit being crybabies. Ain't nothing free. You ain't no slave. You don't get your way. So you act like a 2-year-old burning up people's stuff.
Quit being crybabies. Well, this morning he's back with a message for the people who are now setting fire to the American flag.
And President Obama blamed Hillary Clinton's loss on fake news on Facebook. But he won't be able to use that excuse for long. Kurt, the cyber guy, is here with the changes that could be coming to your news feed. There he is. And we're going to talk to him straight ahead.
Everywhere I go, people stop and they say.
Welcome back to Fox and Friends. Remember the Air Force veteran who blasted the rioters crying over the election results?
Quit being crybabies. Ain't nothing free. You ain't no slave. You don't get your way. So you act like a 2-year-old burning up people's stuff.
Well, this morning he's back and fired up again over the leftists burning the American flag in response to the president-elect saying there should be consequences for those who do it. Joining us now is U.S. Air Force veteran Thaddeus Alexander. Thank you for joining us this morning. So what's your message to those who decide in protest to Donald Trump or in protest to his statements that they're going to burn the American flag?
Well, my thing is this, Pete, is, as a veteran, I fought for that right for you to burn the flag, but it's very offensive I'm not Muslim, but I would never burn the Quran. Just out of respect. I think that there's really nothing we can do, but the last time we had unity in this country was right after 9/11, and most of those people out there burning a flag, they don't even remember that. You remember after 9/11, everybody had American flags and they were all proud of the USA. I don't understand why it has to come to such a tragic event to bring us all together. And as far as like institutions like the colleges and things like that, if they don't want to fly the flag, then I think they should not receive any federal or any state funding. It just shouldn't happen. If you don't like this country, you shouldn't get anything.
Well, you're talking about consequences for actions, and our president-elect last night made a mention in his speech about flag burning. I'm going to play what he had to say and get you to react to it.
Do you agree with my stance that if people burn the American flag, there should be consequence, right?
You know, his slogan has been America First. I love the shirt you're wearing, which says the exact same thing. His perspective is we're all in for America, and if you burn that flag, there should be consequences to that and no split allegiances. What do you think about that?
Well, you know, I'm a strong offender of the Constitution, so I don't think that we can really say that there's consequences for an individual burning a flag. There's nothing we can do about that. I mean, I would be going against everything that the Constitution represents if I said that. Do I feel that way? Does it anger me? Yes. But I would be a hypocrite if I said, okay, if you burn that flag, then you're going to get jail or fine. It just would be against everything I believe in.
You're basically saying just because you have the right doesn't make doing it right. But what does it say about these protesters that they're deciding to burn the very symbol? I mean, what does it say about citizenship, about how we view our own country when the form of protest is to burn the very thing that men like you and many others have served to defend?
Well, like I said, it's kind of like it's very disrespectful. And if you burn that flag, then how are you going to ask for any benefits of this country? You still want to get Social Security when you're 60 or whatever. You still want to get free medical care, but you burn my flag? You don't deserve any of those things. You don't deserve nothing from this country if you don't love it, because what you're doing is making us a laughingstock for other countries, Russia, North Korea, China, Al-Qaeda. They don't have to come and attack us anymore because we're attacking each other and we're making all Americans look like idiots.
Oh, that's right. And try burning a flag in North Korea as well. Thaddeus Alexander, thank you very much for your service and for speaking truth this morning. We appreciate it.
Hey, thank you, sir.
You got it. All right, still ahead. President Obama blamed Hillary Clinton's loss on fake news on Facebook. But he won't be able to use that excuse for long. Kurt the Cyber Guy is here. There he is, walking in with the changes that could be coming to your news feed and mine next. There he is.
A new approach to fighting the fake news on the internet.
A bright red warning label at the top of some websites that reads, quote, "This website is not a reliable news source." That's fake news.
Thanks for telling us. But which sites get the labels and what do you need to know? That's why we're going to ask Kurt the Cyber Guy for what gives on this.
You know what does give? It's very confusing. Yeah. Good morning to you. We're talking about even USA Today caught in this. Their paper today, all about fake, and they capitalize on repeating a story online that was from a blog called TechCrunch, and they mentioned that Facebook is now that's not reported fake news about fake news.
What is, so many people, a couple of weeks ago they said the reason that Hillary lost was because there was so much fake news put out there by the Trump supporters online. What is fake news?
Well, that's at the heart of the question.
It's in the eye of the beholder.
Right, it is. So Facebook is caught in this huge dilemma. So you've got Mark Zuckerberg, the CEO, that has come out and said, look, we don't like misinformation. We don't want fake news. We know it's on the website. But then he also wants to live in this way where he's got this other opinion where it's like, we're not a media site. Yeah, we reach 1.79 billion people, but we're not a media site. Well, of course you are. But at the same time, he doesn't want to start putting these labels on the content that's on Facebook Facebook. But if you don't think that it's actually swaying public opinion, you got another thing going in your
So
brain.
if you see that the red line at the top.
So what that really is, and that's not bad, but it's a downloaded app that's a plug-in to a Chrome browser. So if you use Google Chrome. Right, their browser. This is a plugin that the guy just built overnight practically called BS Detector. It's free. But again, who's telling us in that whether it is fake news or not? And in fact, when testing that, it failed to, it actually flagged a story as fake when indeed it was a true story.
Does it mean, though, it's actually fake, or does it mean this is suspect? We're not sure.
Well, again, this is totally
That's the gray
confusing.
area.
Here's the end of all of this. At the end of the day, it's going to boil down to Facebook, everybody else is going to have to make the decision that says, you know what? We know who to trust. We know that these particular media organizations are credible, and you'll start to see the Fox Newses of the world really populate
But
Facebook.
is that not what this election is about? Don't tell me who the credible source is. Let me go find. And it's interesting, as you pointed out, I don't know if we can put the elements on the screen. A lot of left-wing sites are not being labeled as biased. Of course, they pass right-wing sites.
This isn't left or right issue. I'll tell you what it is. 7,000 Stanford students right now in a study, 80 to 90% of them could not identify a credible news story online. Hello. Wake up call right there.
All right. Kurt, the cyber guy, thank you very much.
Thank you. Happy Friday.
All right. And that was not a fake sentiment. That
That's
was
true.
real.
That is true.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, straight ahead, President-elect Donald Trump speaking with carrier workers face-to-face after saving 1,100 jobs in Indiana. What did they think about his visit? One of those employees joins us live, coming up in about 10 minutes.
Plus, our friend Tucker Carlson, what he thinks about the president's new message and his pick for defense secretary. That's coming up in the next hour.
This campaign proved that the old rules no longer apply, that anything we want for our country is now possible. And this is the hour when the great deeds can be done and our highest hopes can come true. We're going to do it, folks. We're going to do it. We will have two simple rules when it comes to this massive rebuilding effort. Buy American and hire American. We're going to do it ourselves. We will finally end illegal immigration. We will construct a great wall at the border. We will destroy ISIS. We are going to come together and make America great again. Thank you very much. Thank you, Ohio. Thank you.
There they are, the team, as they took the stage last night in Cincinnati to the strains of Lee Greenwood's God Bless the USA. First stop of the Thank You America tour was Cincinnati at the U.S. Arena. To stand, there are rallies planned for Pennsylvania, Florida, North Carolina, and Michigan.
And Iowa. Iowa, too.
Fantastic. Thank you, America.
Oh, indeed. That's what he was doing. Thank you, America. And he was in his element last night.
Yeah, he is just one with the people. He walked out there and he wanted to just thank the folks who had gone to the polls because the folk believed in him that he can turn this country around.
Yeah. You know, sometimes you see politicians who they've got a speech, there's a big crowd, they're a little nervous, they get up there, they can't get out of that room fast enough. They just read through the things. If there's going to be some clapping, if there's going to be some laughing, go ahead. Donald Trump last night was so in his element.
He loves it.
75% of the thing was probably on the teleprompter. The other 5, he was just living it, and he was loving it.
You know what I noticed when we go out and we cover these events before he won? People were, the polls showed this, were afraid to say they were supporting him. Now he has given the Rust Belt, he's given the flyover states, he's given those southern states, the people that never felt like they had a voice or didn't feel like they had a voice anymore. They did not like the direction of this country. And now they are speaking out proudly, saying, he won, we are so excited, and he is going to make America great.
They already feel like there's tangible result. When you've seen Carrier in Indiana just earlier in the day saying, here's 1,100 jobs, 1,100 Christmases, as you point out, they're going to be better this year because I put my nose to the grindstone. And people pointed out, he's working on weekends, he's working on holidays. The energy, the feeling that they have that this guy's here and he wants to bring America back, it's infectious. And you saw it in the back and forth with the audience last night. I mean, he gets energy from them and we get energy
And he's
from
such a worker. I'm glad you brought that up because he made that deal with Carrier over the Thanksgiving holiday when most of us were all with our families. I mean, he works 24/7. He's already starting to sound more presidential and to act on some of the promises that he's made to America.
And here's the thing. We've heard this statistic a number of times, but 70% of the people in the country have felt over the last couple of years that we are in the ditch, that we are heading down the wrong road. And now, you know, he's not even elected. He's already bringing back jobs. Last night in Cincinnati, stop one of the Thank You America tour, Donald Trump got pretty inspirational. Listen to this.
I'm asking you to believe in America once again. We have many challenges, but this is truly an exciting time to be alive. The script is not yet written. We do not know what the next page will read, but I'll tell you, it's going to be a great page. But for the first time in a long time, what we do know is that the pages will be authored by each one of you. Americans, once again, you are the movement. I'm the messenger. I'm just really the messenger. Although I've been a very good messenger, let's face it, right?
And the inspirational theme is truly America first. The pages will be authored by us, not the high seas of globalization or some other priority. It's our country. It's your job.
Behind stage. No more announcements this week, right? You've been saying no more announcements. You're going to announce next week. And he was like, yeah. And then he goes out on stage and he puts the people first in the situation. Watch what he did.
I don't want to tell you this because I want to save the suspense for next week. So I will not tell you that one of our great generals, we are going to appoint Mad Dog Mattis as our Secretary of Defense. So we're going to be announcing him on Monday. They say he's the closest thing to General George Patton that we have, and it's about time. It's about time.
As you look at that shot right there, you got a focus group right behind him because they were obviously listening to everything he had to say. It's interesting. Donald Trump spoke in that arena during the campaign where it was packed to the rafters. But because of security and whatnot, that was only about half full last night. But they were 100% there, and they like the idea of James Mattis, the general and commandant from the Marine Corps. Pete, you're an expert at all things Pentagon. Tell us a little bit about this.
Well, great pick. Nickname Mad Dog Mattis. But
I heard he doesn't like to be called Mad Dog.
He likes only to be called that by the grunts. He's a general's general, as Trump called him, but he's also a grunts general. The rank and file love him. You know, you saw that guy, Ainsley, you pointed out the guy in white behind Trump who's raising his fist. That was me on the flight last night when I was watching the speech, and he announced that. And every other vet and warfighter in this country feels the exact same way.
Why do you like him so much?
Because first of all, he's thoughtful. He puts his Marines first, the guys he commands, he truly cares about. He visits the families of the fallen, of men that he's sent into battle. But he also puts them in there and says, I'm sending you in to win. I want you to kill the enemy. That's what we do in the military, is keep our country safe.
He's not a pansy. He's not a
pansy. He doesn't want the safe spaces.
He's like, I will kill if I have to.
I will kill if I have to. No better friend, no worse enemy. And he's universally loved. And I think in that sense, he'll have a great opportunity to destroy ISIS, rebuild our military, all the things that vets and military folks have wanted.
I beg to differ on one thing. You said he's universally loved, not by this administration. Well, they squeezed him out a couple of years ago because he was somebody who wanted to stay tough with Iran, and the administration was like, oh, sorry, we're changing our position.
I am wondering if Donald Trump, at each of these Thank You America tours, if he's going to announce the cabinet and shoot.